Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, we're talking about PlayStation 1, ROM hacking, and more. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about PlayStation emulation with a fork of Duckstation called Duckstation Netplay, and Duckstation Netplay just got a brand new update. So if you haven't guessed already, Duckstation Netplay is designed for netplay. Go figure, eh? Anyways, here version 0.4 has just released, and this one adds in a brand new connection method, a very interesting connection method. The new method allows you to join a session using a host code with the help of an intermediary server ran by the developer. And they say this new method should remove the need to use external VPNs or other methods to connect for most people. If you are interested in this one, and if you're interested in possibly meeting some people to play against, they do have a Discord and I do recommend checking it out. Duckstation Netplay is 100% free and open source. Moving on, and we're talking about Game Boy Advance emulation on Android with Boy GBA Pro, and Boy GBA Pro just got a number of new updates. Now, in a previous video, I'm pretty sure we talked about them adding retro achievements, and if we didn't, well, they've added retro achievements. And in this update, the list of retro achievements is now sortable, and you can use them in offline mode. So when you connect online again, your retro achievements should be uploaded. Next up, we're talking about a very interesting modding project, and one that I've got mixed feelings about, but it is pretty cool. It's called Pokemon Yellow on the SNES, and I'll drop a link to this video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. Someone hacked up a Super Game Boy and Pokemon Yellow to make a SNES cart. One of the things that's super interesting about this project is they fixed the clock speed in the process. If you didn't know this already, the Super Game Boy plays Pokemon a little bit too fast, and there's a fix here to make it run at the right speed. And it wasn't just Pokemon Yellow that they ended up turning into a cartridge. I highly recommend checking out this video. It's worth the watch, and the end result is pretty fantastic. And staying on YouTube here, next up we're talking about a brand new emulator called Infuse, and I'll drop a link to this video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. It's a Zebo emulator, and if you don't know what this is, I'll drop a helpful link in the description below and feel free to check it out. Good old Wikipedia has us covered here, and Zebo was a very obscure system, I think only released in Mexico and Brazil. Next up, we're quickly talking about Nintendo, and Nintendo seems to have had a pretty good quarter. VGC reports that Zelda drove a record quarter for Switch with 18.5 million sales. The sequel saw Nintendo's profits surge 82%. That is absolutely massive. And now Nintendo could potentially afford more lawyers. And speaking about Nintendo, next up we're talking about a very interesting SNES ROM hack, and this one's for Final Fantasy V. So the original ROM hack is Final Fantasy V-R, where R stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Remix. I guess depending on how you want to interpret that. Anyways, it was a Japanese patch for the game, and now it's been translated to English. If you wanted to experience this one, or at least read up on it, I'll drop a link to the ROM hacking page in the description below. And speaking about translations, next up we're talking about a ROM hack for the Nintendo DS that I think a lot of people will be excited about. It's L, the Prologue to Death Note, and it's been completely translated to English. I'll drop a link to the ROM hack in the description below and feel free to check it out. Next up, we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, which just released on Steam and has been getting incredible reviews. If you've got a Steam Deck, this game is technically playable. It's not listed as verified just yet, but at the same time, it's playable. And that's a massive accomplishment for such a big game. Personally, I think these two reviews sum up the game perfectly. $60 for a microtransaction free, battle pass free, subscription free, non-live service game. Wild. And this one here, play your way, hit people with a salami. And a friendly tip here, if you do plan on playing this game on your Steam Deck, use Proton Experimental and turn down every single setting in the game. And possibly limit the FPS to 30, and you might be okay. It does run pretty rough on the Steam Deck. It is playable though. And speaking about tips, last up here we're talking about Linux, and this is thanks to OMG Linux, who spotted a program that's very helpful if you use Flatpaks. So the program is called Flatsweep, and it basically just clears out your directory after you've uninstalled a Flatpak to gain you a few megabytes or possibly more. And they just had an update here where it fixed a bug where it would just hang on calculating if some folders were missing. I'll drop a link to this one in the description below as well. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a few things today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of them in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.